breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones. Two-time WNBA champion Sydney Colson is officially signing a 1-year deal with the Indiana Fever. So the Fever just keep on doing what they've been doing. They're now playing no games in Indiana.
First of all, this WNBA free agency will not let us rest. Number one, we literally cannot rest. But also, I love this move again. Like, Sydney Colson is a great player, but she's also a player that is going to add even more to what we're going to talk about later, and that's that chemistry of the team.
Did you hear about the WNBA shocker that's got Asia Wilson fuming? Sydney Colson, Wilson's favorite teammate and right-hand woman, just turned the basketball world upside down by leaving the two-time champion Aces for, wait for it, CaitlinClark and the Indiana.
You mean to tell me that two-time WNBA champion, the face of the God Dog League, okay? The Aces' main girl, right-hand man, Sydney Colson, is no longer returning to the Aces and is signing with the Indiana Fever? First of all, do the Fever even have any more roster spots open? How many folks are you guys going to sign?
That's right, folks. The Aces dynasty is crumbling and fans are losing their minds. And guess what? Among all the moves the Fever made this offseason, this might just be the move that puts Indiana over the edge of championship glory. Are you ready to see how this unfolds? Let's go.
Is the face of the league, self-appointed face of the league, but also just in entertainment and all of these things. She has done and achieved so many things and continues to find amazing places in the WNBA, including with the Indiana Fever right now. And I'm just really, listen, what other moves they gonna make? Because I love this one too. And just great move after great move after great move. And I'm excited for Sydney Colson, and I'm excited for the Indiana Fever because they have an amazing player who is also very hilarious, like one of the funniest people in the league. So really excited to see this.
Said, imagine the content between Sydney and Caitlin. It's going to be comedy.
Content for days. I know the Indiana Fever front office is just celebrating because that is a part of it too, is content and having players that are going to be good at that. So come on, Sydney.
Picture this: Wilson, the self-proclaimed queen of the Las Vegas Aces, waking up to find her right-hand woman gone. What happened? Sydney Colson, two-time champion with the Aces, was more than just a teammate to her. She was her confidant, her partner in crime, and the glue that held the locker room together. But something changed. Colson started looking beyond the glitz and glamour of Vegas.
Now they got Sydney Colson. Like, why would they take Sydney from us? Why would they take Sydney from us? What the we ever do to Indiana? Except beat them. But like, what the we ever do to Indiana?
Okay. I can't take too much more. I just said the other day, what did I say? Another bomb is Sunday. I said, this isn't it. You know, I can't wait to see what the next bomb will be. Didn't know this would be the bomb. Stephanie White ain't playing fair. I have to say it again. Stephanie White is not playing fair. She on one.
Let's talk about Colson's journey with the Aces. Sure, her stats might not jump off the page too. 5 points, 1 assist, and 8 minutes per game last season. But Colson's impact went way beyond the numbers. She was the defensive specialist, the clutch player who showed up when it mattered most. Remember the WNBA Finals 2 years ago? Colson was there making those crucial plays that don't always make the highlight reels. And the twist: Colson wasn't just any player on the court. She was the heart and soul of the Aces locker room, the one who kept everyone laughing, who brought the energy when things got tough. She was the secret weapon that every championship team needs, the player who makes everyone else better just by being there.
That Amber Cox and Stephanie White, they were probably scouring the free agency market, and they were like, you know what? We do need to protect our locker room. We need to be able to bring in someone who can be a really good fit, someone who can really help to put these younger players at ease. And also, we need somebody to be able to play some lockdown defense off the bench. And that is it. Sydney Colson is vibes and defense. That's why she's on.
Now let's switch gears to the Indiana Fever. Are you ready for this? They've been making moves like a team with something to prove. Natasha Howard, check. Danana Boner, you bet. Sophie Cunningham, yep. And now Sydney Colson. It's like they're building a super team right before our eyes.
Sydney Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, I mean, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision. So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like DeWanna Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have CC and Aaliyah Boston and
I hope that some of y'all, if y'all are not familiar with Sydney Colson, I hope y'all, watch some highlights of her, because don't just be like, oh, Sydney Colson, she barely scored last year, she's not good for the Indiana Fever. No, she is. Don't.
But why would Colson leave a championship team? That's the million-dollar question. The basketball world is in shock. Fans are losing their minds. Aces supporters can't believe it, while Fever fans are pinching themselves to make sure they're not dreaming.
Clark actually spoke on this on Sunday, and she had this to say, quote, "I'm excited. Obviously, we made some great moves. I think Kelly and Amber and the whole Fever organization are helping us to win now, and I think that's really important. I think they're putting really good pieces together that are going to complement each other really, really well." And then she continued talking about Steph, their new head coach, and said that Steph taking over as head coach for us, I think, is going to be really great. A great basketball mind, someone that actually called quite a few of my college games. So being able to build that relationship with her and just be in the gym and work on things that she probably saw when I was a freshman in college.
Here's the truth. Colson chose CaitlinClark over Asia Wilson. Let that sink in for a moment. The player Asia called her favorite teammate her right-hand woman. Just packed her bags and headed to Indiana. It's not just a new team, it's a whole new era.
Knew that CaitlinClark was this phenomenal talent, but she was entering a league that she was not familiar with. She was a rookie. The Indiana Fever have been actively building and rebuilding their organization and this team, and they have a lot of incredible pieces. But the fact that they were able to get into the playoffs and be a team that, although they didn't, advance far in the playoffs, they were a team that we kept saying, if you face them, they're gonna make it difficult for you. That organization then saw that and said, we're capitalizing on this and we're doing it now.
But that's not all. This move isn't just about basketball, it's about culture. It's about building something special. The Fever aren't just getting a solid backup guard for Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. They get a locker room leader, a defensive specialist, and someone who knows what it takes to win championships. And Wilson, well, she's not taking this lying down. Her social media has been blowing up. Her fans are in meltdown mode. But what's so special about Colson? Let's talk about Sydney Colson. For a minute, you might be thinking, why all the fuss about a backup guard? Colson isn't your typical bench player. She's a defensive dynamo with court vision that would make an eagle jealous. And that three-point shot, pure silk. Imagine those skills paired up with CaitlinClark, or picture Colson running the show when Clark needs a breather on the bench. Scary, right?
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, with Aaliyah Boston and CaitlinClark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already worked with. Let's talk about that too, and has chemistry with and knows the work ethic of. And they are building this super team, make no mistake about it, that is going to give you instant results.
Now let's break it down. Colson's not going to light up the scoreboard every night, but that's not why the Fever brought her, and they've got plenty of firepower. Already what they needed was a secret weapon. Someone who can lock down opponents, make the smart play, and knock down shots when it matters most. But wait, there's more. Colson brings something to the table that you can't measure with stats. Leadership. She's been there, done that, and got the championship ring to prove it. Two of them, to be exact. That winning mentality, it's infectious. And for a young team like the Fever, it could be the spark that ignites a championship run.
This season, the Fever is going to run amok this year. You got DeWanna Bonner. Oh, my God. They took Sid. And some of y'all really don't feel like Sid was that valuable. Sid, so valuable. To not see Asia, Sid, Chelsea Gray, KP, and Jackie Young together.
The Fever's backcourt is stacked with talent, but they were missing that veteran presence, someone who's been through the wars, who knows what it takes to win at the highest level. Enter Sydney Colson. She's the perfect mentor for Clark and Mitchell, showing them the ropes and keeping them steady when the pressure's on.
Giving their star, CaitlinClark, all the pieces she needs to be successful. And you have to clap for that, because this is what you do when you have superstar talent. You build a superstar team. And this is what the Indiana Fever have done.
Can't falter. That's what good coaches do. She is on one, man. She came in and said, I got some things I need to do, and I'm going to get them done. And I'm going to build around CaitlinClark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. And I know, you got to get props and props to do. Y'all, the Fever go run some stuff this year.